In today's video, I wanted to talk about that generalized feeling of something feeling a little bit off, that feeling that something is missing, the generalized feeling of dissatisfaction. Hi, my name is Yvonne, and I create these videos to help you come home to yourself and feel free within. So let's talk about this generalized feeling of something's off, something's missing, and this generalized feeling of dissatisfaction. What most of us wind up doing is we notice that, well, something's off, something must be wrong. Let me zoom in on that and let me dig to the bottom of it, try and understand it. What's wrong? What's wanting to understand and dig to the bottom of it and find out what's wrong so that you can fix it, right? And particularly if you identify with perfectionistic patterns, this will feel familiar to you, because as a perfectionist, you're the very definition of perfectionism is basically that you're focusing on the gap between where you are and where you want to be, and always on that gap of what isn't good enough yet. So many of us are walking around with some version of that, and it's actually just also part of the brain's wiring, because as our brain has a negativity bias, it will automatically zoom in on what might be wrong and what might be missing. So there's nothing wrong with any of that. It doesn't mean that you have a particular problem, and it doesn't mean that anything needs fixing. But it might be helpful to become aware of these patterns so that you can turn it around into something that actually serves you. So one way to not just get around that, because you can't actually use this as a hack to get around it, but I'll get to that. But as a way to let it support you, to notice the feeling of dissatisfaction, become aware of, okay, I'm zooming in on what's missing. Let me zoom out a second and focus on what's here. Now, the mind doesn't like to do that, because the mind will then say, oh, you're just asking me to resign myself to this shitty situation, or oh, that'll just get me complacent. Nothing could be further from the truth, because your life will always continue to call more from you. Life is always changing, so there is no such thing as resigning yourself to anything, and complacency is not going to happen in this space. Your heart actually knows that when you are focusing on what's here, you are feeling more relaxed, you're feeling more appreciative, you're being more receptive to then new ideas, new inspirations, and creative solutions that help you move in the direction of what you actually want, because that is the second part. So one part of it is, let's focus on what's here, and then let's focus on, what is it that I really want? What is it that I want from this situation, from this person, from whatever it is, whatever the circumstances that you're considering? What is it that I really want? And why do I want it? And can I think about that in a way that actually feels good to me? Because so often when we're thinking about what we want, what we're actually thinking about is not having it. What we're actually thinking about is the obstacles that are seemingly keeping us from having that thing. But can you think about what you want and why you want it in a way that actually feels good? So think about what you want, why you want it, and how you think you're going to feel when you have it. Because when you think about what you're going to feel, or what you think you're going to feel when you have it, now you have a very, well, it's not very concrete, but it's still a very simple thing. Like, oh, I think I'm going to feel fulfilled, or I think I'm going to feel joy, I'm going to feel happier. Then you can take steps to generate that joy, that happiness from where you are, because that is just always available to you right here in this moment. In fact, this here moment is the only way to access that frequency. And unless you're creating an inner atmosphere of that lighter, looser, more receptive vibration first, life can't bring it to you, because what comes to you always matches you. So you have to generate your inner environment first to match the situation that you want, in order for the things that you want to come into your experience. So you cannot stay in that vibration of lack and wanting to figure it out and fix it, and then expect good things to come to you, because it's not a match. You're then actually a match to having more things that need figuring out, more things that need fixing. So I'm saying all of that, but it's not it's not intended as some clever hack, like, oh, now I can just focus on what's here, focus on what I want, and now I never have to feel dissatisfied ever again. Because it's not going to work like that. You're going to feel dissatisfied, and there is some level of dissatisfaction that may well always be a part of your experience, because life will always call more from you. Because even if today you got every dream you've ever had, you're not going to stop dreaming. It's like going to a restaurant and having your favorite dessert, and you're savoring every bite and it's so freaking delicious. You're not going to go at the end of it, you're going to say, oh, now I'm just done eating food forever. You're going to get hungry again, and you're going to want to have another meal. And that getting hungry again is that feeling of dissatisfaction, of, oh, I want more. And there's nothing wrong with wanting more. More is the very mantra of the whole freaking universe. The universe wants you to have more, but you can't stand in lack and be a match to more. So what you do is, again, you focus on what's here, you create the inner atmosphere of what it is that you want, but not as a way to get around dissatisfaction, but instead to make peace with the dissatisfaction being there, because it will help you become aware of what you really want, become aware of, okay, this is something that is feeling off for me. What would feel on track for me? What would feel good to me? What would feel satisfying? What would feel like joy? What would feel like fulfillment? And then turn your attention in the direction of that. So it's always just a compass signal that is alerting you to, I'm focusing on the lack, let me focus on what's here, let me focus on what I want, and then take a step in the direction of that. Because while you can find satisfaction in little things, you can find satisfaction in taking a sip of water when you're thirsty, but always the greatest satisfaction will only ever come from you moving in the direction of your dreams. So that is why it can never be true. What the mind is wanting you to believe is that satisfaction in a moment is going to lead to complacency. It won't, because you cannot be complacent for very long before that dissatisfaction to show up again and show you that actually you want more. And when for myself, like when I'm like in a resting mode, I can really feel the satisfaction of like easing off on the pressure or giving myself a chance to rest and breathe. But it's not going to last very long, because I have big dreams. I have goals that I want to pursue, and dreams that I want to realize. And I have noticed for myself that I feel the greatest satisfaction when I take a step, even if it's a tiny step, in that direction. So for me, creating this video is far more delicious than just consuming one. So all that being said, it's see if you can tune into dissatisfaction as a compass signal to alert you to focus on what's here, focus on what you want and why you want it in a way that actually feels good, because you're thinking about how you think you're gonna feel when you have it, and tune in the direction of that. So it's more of a shift. It's just a shift in focus. What is missing? What is here? What is it that what I think I'm lacking? What is it that I actually want? And let me move in the direction of that. So with that focus, you can be satisfied with where you are and feel satisfaction in moving in the direction of your goals. And then you can expect to be satisfied every step of the journey. Hope this was helpful for you. Please leave any comments in. If you have any comments, leave them below, or let me know through DM or wherever you find this. I always love hearing from you, and it encourages me to make more videos like this. Wishing you a very satisfied day. Bye.